Hundreds are gathered around the Capitol and the Supreme Court to protest his confirmation. NBC's Mike Vaquer is on Capitol Hill for us. And I know, Mike, that you've been speaking with someone who has organized some of these protests. So what are you finding out?
Right. Well, that's right, Alex. And, you know, the Capitol Police did something unusual today. Even though the Senate is in session, they closed the Russell, the Hart, the Dirksen Senate office buildings, where we've seen some of those protests just the day before yesterday. Some 300 protesters arrested in the atrium of Hart. So they're out here. They're in front of the Supreme Court. You see them here. And if we could pan around, you will see the Capitol grounds, the Capitol just across the street. Under this ginkgo tree here, there's a group from the Women's March that are getting ready for what they term a civic action. And earlier I heard them doing a training session where they're preparing people to get arrested in the eventuality that they do get arrested, and you get the impression that they are, in fact, expecting that. I am with Melissa Byrne. She's from the online group, women's rights group, Ultraviolet. Melissa, I have seen you over the course of the last few days literally positioning protesters. You are sort of in charge, you're organizing this. But today you're out here. This vote is a foregone conclusion. Is this a waste of time?
I mean, this time, what was it, in August of last year, when it was a foregone conclusion that we were going to that ACA was going to be repealed, and then McCain had that heroic moment in the middle of the night. So it's never over until the votes are counted, and Senator Collins and Senator Manchin still have the time to listen to the people of their state, listen to the survivors, instead of the big money interest, and they can be a hero, and they can vote to stop Kavanaugh.
Okay, so Lindsey Graham, he was on our air. We played a soundbite a few minutes ago. He portrays this as a choice, raw politics. Are you going to stand with Susan Collins after her long speech on the Senate floor today where she gave her rationale? Or he's putting you on the opposite side. You're the foil. Are you going to be with the protesters who spit on you as you walk through the halls? What's your reaction to those who say that what you've been doing here has created a backlash that is counterproductive?
Well, one, there was no spitting. The backlash is...
I didn't see any spitting.
There was no spitting.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, if these senators like Lindsey Graham and other people had town hall meetings, if they listened to their constituents and not just their big money donors, these conversations could have happened over the last year, over the last 18 months, but they don't do town hall meetings. They don't have FaceTime with their constituents. So the only place where people can meet them is in the hallways and in the tunnels and as they're getting into elevators or as they're getting into the trams. And as Americans, it's in our Constitution. It's the First Amendment, is the right to address government. And you can ask the hard questions. It's not, the First Amendment isn't, you can write a polite pre-screened question on an index card and hand it in. It's like we have the right to do that. And the people that are causing the problems are the folks like Lindsey Graham, who would rather stand behind a sexual assaulter than listen to the women of their state.
Okay, Melissa Byrne. Many hundreds of protesters out here on the east front of the Capitol and the Supreme Court steps, Alex. They are planning some civic actions later as we grow closer to that vote.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.